Welcome to the 5th episode of VS 2012 Recaps from Reality TV Warriors. My name is Michael Armstrong, and joining me as always is a Canadian who loves to go around planes asking for details of mistresses, Logan Saunders.
Good afternoon.
And the guy who's decided to embrace the Spanish half of the season by only appearing with a cocktail and sunglasses, David Bindley.
Good morning.
Good morning. Have you had good weeks, chaps?
Yeah.
Good?
I will not elaborate upon this.
No.
Anything interesting this week that you want to discuss? You bring any content to the table?
I'm almost done. Race Across the World Season 5.
Enjoying it?
Have they gone all the way across the world yet?
No, they have not. Although somehow the season has traveled more than Season 38 of Amazing Race. So, granted, that's a low bar.
And with one more plane as well.
Yeah, that's true. Didn't think about that. And I didn't know there were wild lions in India.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Asiatic lions.
Yeah. I did not know specifically it was in this one town in like Western India and that there is a big desert.
Do you hate everyone yet, or?
No, I just think that the son from the mother-son team is just a whiny doofus the whole season. And the divorced couple is just really tough to relate to.
And the Welsh couple who were just completely overwhelmed by seeing any other human beings.
Yeah, but they're like, yeah. That sounds like Wales.
Luckily, they went to India where there's no chance of seeing another human being.
Yeah, China and India is the two countries they have to go through for the whole season.
Yeah, I think I said this at the time when it aired, but it's really, really mean casting Finn and Sinead on that series of all series because they start in China, then they get like a one-episode reprieve in Nepal where they don't really see other human beings, and then they go to India. And when I say they go to India, I mean they kind of get forced to go through every populous city in India.
Except for Calcutta.
Yeah. It's so mean. Brilliant television, but it's so mean.
Yeah, two countries that effectively combine for close to 3 billion people.
Yep.
And it's the teenage couple from Wales.
And Sinead really struggles at the start of India. I'm assuming you've got past that bit.
Yeah, I'm already on episode 7.
Yeah. So as soon as they get to India, she basically has a breakdown. And it's just like, I want to go home. I want to go home. I'm hating every second of this. I want to go home now.
And Amazing Race 39 is somehow doing two legs in Africa.
Yeah, and specifically Morocco, where this season didn't even bother going.
Yes. Yeah, that's quite the tie-in.
I mean, you say that like that's, a big thing, except for the fact that in Morocco, they go to the same market they always go to. So, like, it's not even like they're doing new stuff in Africa.
Which is probably the same market that Celebrity Race Across the World started at, to be honest.
Probably.
Yeah, it's the same one in Marrakesh that they used in, Season 3 of Amazing Race US?
Yep, Season 3, Season 25, Amazing Race Australia. Marit probably went there.
Have you watched any more traitors this week, Saunders, or...?
No, I was watching Race Across the World instead.
I have. I've watched Ireland.
Oh, you finished it?
Yep, finished it an hour ago.
I see. What did you... Well, I can't believe how much the traitors blew it at the end. They had nobody to blame but themselves.
You might be able to hear it slightly in my voice, but I cheered when Nick got that third vote.
I thought you might have. And on Twitter, I correctly predicted how the finale would play out.
Well, the really fun thing is, probably after about episode 6 or 7, I posted on one of the Discord servers. I feel like it's going to be a faithful win, with probably Oyen being part of it. And someone replied to me like, no, she's got no edit. She's had like 9 confessionals. So I dug out that comment after I finished watching it. I'm just like, remember when I posted this? Pepperidge Farm remembers that. So yes, I had my slightly smug moment where I'm like, can't say I didn't warn you that this was going to happen. But yeah, Nick and Ben are two of the most smug traitors that I have ever seen. And it was an absolute delight to see both of them lose, and lose horrifically, basically at their own hand.
And they were also two of the most smug faithful somehow, too, in the same season.
And I did also love that we basically ended the season with Vanessa mocking them wielding the bow and arrow.
Yeah. But yeah, I was thinking, I bet all 3 of them are going to win because Nick and Ben screwed up the previous episode so badly. Why on earth did they murder Wilkin? There was no reason to do that because Wilkin was an idiot all season long who would have been really easy to manipulate.
Yeah, and everyone was predicting that Iron was going to be the murder that round, and she absolutely wasn't.
Yeah, everyone thought for sure she was going to be murdered, and then as soon as she turned up, it became pretty clear that Nick and Ben were going to lose the season.
Yep, and it couldn't have happened to nicer guys.
Yeah, at least they took the exit gracefully for the most part.
Yeah, I'm sure they're lovely in real life, but the problem is they were really, really cocky douchebags on that show, and I feel like the final roundtable was a little bit uncomfortable with how hard Nick went at Vanessa.
Yeah.
Especially when he was calling her aggressive and stuff.
Yeah, the thoughts went through my mind too, where I was thinking, that is pure desperation right there.
Yeah.
But playing on racial undertones is not the way to do it.
Yes, I'm glad that Vanessa won after that because it was slightly uncomfortable.
Kind of balances out how aggressive or how
well done, Saunders. Getting yourself cancelled again.
it was more towards with Joanne calling them mean girls for because they really that in that situation they were not saying the nicest things to Joanna.
No.
Well, speaking of traitors as getting cancelled, Australia has a new host.
Yeah, as does New Zealand.
Yeah.
The rumours were true that New Zealand and Australia are basically doing a co-pro. And the Australian host is an inspired choice.
Yeah. Like, I feel like Gretel Colleen is just about the only person who would feel like an improvement over Roger. But, like, I watched a lot of Big Brother when I was doing the challenge guide against my better judgment. And, like, the one thing that sort of stuck out watching Gretel is that she is really, really bad at explaining challenges.
Oh, good.
Like, she's worse than Julie Chen. So I don't know how she's going to handle that bit, but I feel like she will be great at, like, round tables and choosing the traitors and all of that sort of stuff.
And you doing the challenge guide, it explains why you're the only person in the world who's seen the modern Big Brother UK series.
Yep. Although I didn't watch the celebrity one this year, and I haven't watched the one that's just started last night yet.
Nobody did. That's the problem for them. And it's going up against Celebrity Traitors next week.
Ooh.
Married at First Sight, which slaughters Big Brother every night, is moving on, at least on a Wednesday and a Thursday from next week, to avoid a clash with Celebrity Traitors. I believe Big Brother UK is not.
Huh.
So it's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
And I was amazed by how low the ratings were for Amazing Race 38's premiere.
Oh, yes.
It went down like 1 million from last season.
They're so low, even TarHub can't find any positives.
Yeah. Like, the overnight rate, like, I'm not sure, what streaming and all that sort of stuff's going to add to it. Probably not much. But, like, the overnight ratings are the lowest ratings any episode has had ever. Which is not great for a season premiere. Not great for a premiere where the whole point is, we're going to cast people from another show as a crossover to bring them all in. So it kind of feels like CBS shit the bed by forcing production to do this.
Yeah, it's like I said to you guys last week, it's nothing to everyone. Nobody wants this season because Big Brother fans don't want to see an Amazing Race season. Amazing Race fans don't want to see a season without quote-unquote real people on it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody involved in production wanted to do it because it's blatantly obvious after the last Big Brother team that caused a stir what happens when you cast Big Brother teams. I'm ignoring Derek X and Claire and all the reality showdown people there. Like, it's nothing to everyone.
Yeah. And, like, they can't even hide in, like, the travel aspect because they're not leaving Europe. They can't even say, oh, at least we've got new challenges because, like, that premiere is basically a greatest hits of everything they've done in the Netherlands in the past, minus the good challenges. Like, they had carrying the cheese, they had the cargo bikes, they had, like, those sort of forgettable challenges. They didn't have, like, the ones you actually remember, like the ditch vaulting, the 15-foot pile of shit. I'm kind of surprised the eels didn't turn up again because, like, that is the level of deep dive they were, like, trawling to try and find something new to do in the Netherlands after all these visits.
I'm not sure that they would have got the insurance for Enzo to have to do the ditch vaulting given how he performed on the Challenge USA.
True.
And it's surprising how low the ratings were in addition to the fact that it followed immediately after a Big Brother episode. And they won't even have that going forward.
Yep.
They'll have Survivor, though.
I also had a bit of fun on Friday because we record this on a Tuesday, and last Thursday the new Richard Osman book came out, so I ended up looking around supermarkets to try and find it because it's usually cheaper than Amazon, and ended up ordering it off Amazon. And I was buying a couple of bits on there because I'm a Prime member, humble brag. I could get it delivered for the next day at 1 p.m. and got it delivered. And to explain this story, I kind of have to explain the layout of Harmstead Heights without doxing myself too much. So, sort of to get to my front door, you have to go around the corner and go to the drive.
Yeah. Do you still have to go through that giant pile of gravel?
No, not anymore. That one did get cleared, although you do have to go down the mile-long drive to get to the gates, given I do live in an exclusive gated community. But I have a camera over my garage on the drive, and I heard the ping to say someone was there. And because it was a before 1 o'clock delivery, you don't get the tracking you usually get on Amazon. So I'm like, oh, it must be Amazon. So I heard the ping, heard the knock on the front door, and I was coming down the stairs. This was about 8:30, 9 o'clock on Friday morning. I was coming down the stairs to get the parcel, and I saw my front door open and the delivery driver throw the parcel inside.
Oh.
And it's fair to say that I was not best pleased about this.
No way.
How does that happen?
Obviously, the delivery driver decided that the instruction that is usually there, if I don't come to the door, leave it on the doorstep, didn't apply in this case, and instead the alternative would be open the front door, throw the parcel in, and then walk off. And also, I have a doorbell camera. He waited less than 5 seconds between knocking on the door and doing this. He did not give me a chance to get to the front door.
Have you considered closing your front door?
The front door was closed. I had literally 5 minutes beforehand been out to the garage to get something out of there, so it wasn't on the bolt for once. And that was the only difference. But whose first thought is try the door handle, see if it opens?
I've never heard of a delivery driver do that.
No, I've never had a delivery driver do that. I've never heard of a delivery driver do that.
That's the equivalent of breaking in, especially, again, with doorbell cams now. You think that's like the best way to get sued.
Yeah, and can I also say, it's blatantly obvious on the doorbell footage. I saved the doorbell footage as soon as it cleared, basically, just in case I needed to send it to Amazon. It's blatantly obvious what he did. You can see him go for the front door handle. Amazon didn't ask me to send them the footage. I did complain, obviously. Amazon didn't ask me to send them the footage. I did ask whether they wanted me to. And, like, it's a slam dunk thing. If I sent them that footage, he would get fired, 100%.
Oh.
I might send it to you guys afterwards. But, like, yeah. It was alarming. I was kind of stood there a little bit shaken up on Friday morning because I'm like, it unnerves me. But if I was a woman, like, that would be a police job, probably.
How far did the package make it into the hallway there?
A fair amount. I've just sent you guys a video on Facebook. Yeah, a fair amount, I would say.
Oh, he waited no time at all. You're not kidding.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, as much as I am prone to hyperbole when I tell this sort of a story, it's a 10-second video of my doorbell camera. And I'm not going to obviously send it anywhere other than you guys. But he waited, I would say, 3 or 4 seconds between knocking on the door and opening the door and throwing it in. And also, I have a doorbell. Ring the doorbell. Don't knock on the door. But that's another argument.
Yeah, you got to focus on the biggest infraction of all. Resolve that first, and then make your way through it.
Yeah, I was picking my battles. Like, that's the bit that I could kind of leave because I still heard him. I still heard him from upstairs. But yeah, the fact of the matter is he should not have opened that front door. And if he doesn't get fired, I'm going to be shocked because he absolutely should for that. Like, as much as I don't want to get anyone fired, he deserves it for that.
Yeah, it's breaking and entering.
Yeah.
I thought my pizza delivery guy was back. It's like I put on the menu log thing. Basically, we need contactless delivery, leave room to open the door. Every single time, they put it basically right in front of the door so that when you go to open it, basically pushes over it like a 2-liter bottle of drink all over the pizza. Every single time. Somehow this is worse.
Yeah. I knew this would be a story that would amuse you guys and probably shock you a little bit. But yeah, that was fun on Friday morning.
Yeah, because we've gotten hundreds and hundreds of things delivered to the house, and I can't think of a single time where, and especially anyone I've ever heard of, I've never heard of anybody having the delivery driver physically open the front door and throw the package in. That's crazy.
Yeah, I've never heard of it happening before, but all I could think of was if I was a lone woman living alone, I'm not sure I would have been comfortable staying at home on Friday. I was shaken up, and I'm not a lone woman living on my own.
Debatable.
So was the door did he close the door after he threw the package in, or
Oh
was it
yeah,
left open?
no, he closed it behind him. He opened the door, threw the parcel in, and then closed it again. All in the space of, I want to say, 2-3 seconds of me getting down the stairs. Because I came downstairs to see the door shut and the parcel in the hallway.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Luckily, nothing was breakable in there. It was a book and some antihistamine. But yeah, that was really fun on Friday. And after all the fun that I had with getting Harmstone Heights on the Amazon map 2 years ago, this is really fun now. The evolution of my problems with Amazon. And I'm sure Fuzzy will be delighted to hear that, given she's been waiting for an update on Amazon for years. Fun times!
Yeah, that was crazy. At least he didn't come in and ask if he could use your bathroom or something like that too.
No, because he would have got told in no uncertain terms, had he hung around for longer than he did, to get the fuck out of my house. I'm assuming, given that the Amazon customer service person didn't even want the footage, that this isn't the first time that this man has done something like that. Unfortunately.
Yeah, because usually you'd think if you were the customer service rep or dispatcher or whoever the hell you would talk to, that they would just be equally startled too and say, no, they didn't open the door and throw the package in.
The fact that it was no quibble, we're really, really, really sorry about this. Please give us another chance. Here's some money. That suggests to me this isn't the first time that this delivery driver has done something like that.
How much money did they give you?
£10, and the entire order was like 15. So no, it must have been over 20 because they gave me the before 1 p.m. delivery. It was probably just over 20 quid to deliver.
I wonder how many people would sue in that situation.
I mean, you've seen the footage. It's a slam dunk. I could have got a lot more than 10 quid out of them. It's only because they were very efficient with dealing with my complaint on Friday morning that I didn't take it any higher. Because, yeah, not acceptable.
Committing a crime is not acceptable to deliver your package.
So, lesson learned, if you're going to break into Harmstone Heights, wait at least 7 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. 5 seconds is just too damn short.
Or use an EMP to disable the doorbell cam.
And I will also warn any future burglars of Harmstone Heights that I have a very fearsome guard dog nephew. He might not live here, but he'll run down. He'll find you.
Run and tell that.
He'll probably then also roll over and ask for belly rubs, but that's beside the point. He's a fearsome, fearsome guard dog. And a very good boy. Which is what I was going to come on to. In lighter news, Van is still a very good boy and is 11 months in a few days.
God, is that all?
I know. Seems like much, much longer.
So, Vidum?
Well, one final thing on Van. I think I told Bindles this, but I didn't tell you, Saunders. Van had a little trip to Harvestone Heights last week, the week before, because Mum and Dad were away. So I go up and see Van and my brother twice a week, usually when Mum and Dad are away, and went up and saw him on the Tuesday. And then I was on my way to go and see them on the Thursday and got a call off my brother going, "Are you on a walk?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm coming to see you." He's like, "Right, we're outside your front door." Great. Ran back and...
Did they wait 7 seconds before opening your front door to try and go inside?
My brother is respectful of my property. He went into the garden and then waited for me to get back, even though he did have keys. And Van has kitchen privileges because it's tiled. He does not have lounge privileges because it's carpeted and not puppy-proofed. My brother thought it would be hilarious to still let him in the lounge when we were there, and Van decided to mark his territory on my curtains. So he lost his lounge privileges, as did my brother.
Now your brother is only allowed in the kitchen where it's tiled.
Yeah, pretty much it's the only place my brother can be trusted as well.
Yeah.
But I have also just sent you a picture of the adorable little specimen, who I forgave almost immediately. However, his dad I have not forgiven still. and it's nearly
No.
2 weeks ago.
Quite the shenanigans at Harmstone
Yeah.
Heights. Sadly, I do not have any of those types of stories.
No. Well, it's a bit hard. It's a bit hard to get the horse through the doorway, especially without the camera seeing it.
Yeah, Saunders doesn't need the doorway. The glory hole's fine.
I'm sorry, Logan.
Yeah, this sort of story always seems to happen to me, and I usually save it for a podcast for you guys, for your amusement.
Previously...
Yeah, so previously, a surprise test and execution saw the final 7 split up, with William and Marit still vulnerable, while the other 5 negotiated whether the execution should be cancelled at the historic Hofty House. Their dilemma was a devilish one, as they chose to save everyone, but it was a non-unanimous decision, so everything they did in Iceland was for nothing, as the pot was drained. Marit says the voting turned everything upside down, and it's hard to know who would have gone home. She doesn't know if her and William were even on the same mole, and he won't tell her. Spoilers for the end of the episode.
She gone.
I think the same person would have got a red screen in both episodes.
I did too.
I haven't looked up the table for this season, and I'm assuming they do reveal it at the reunion, but my gut instinct is probably that Marit would have gone home both times.
It's surprising, I know I'm jumping ahead a bit here, but that when she's taking the quiz, she says, "Oh, I'm a major tunnel visit on one person." And I'm thinking, you just had a 50-50 chance of being executed in the previous episode. Why on earth would you remain going all in on one person when you were down to being a coin flip of going home and knowing that 4 other people had it for sure, rather 4 people were guaranteed safety, and you were one of the 2 that could have gone home? Why not throw a few questions away onto a second suspect?
Bindles and I were discussing this yesterday, whether you would want to do a cold open for this episode just to call Marit dumb constantly, or whether that was just reserved for Dio.
Is she the 3rd person this season that's gone home going all in on one person?
Did Martin go home going all in on one person?
No, because he was using math. He spread his answers as much as
he
possible.
Was the opposite, I think, yeah.
Yeah, Martin spread too thin. Did Marianne go all in?
Yeah, I think she said she went all in.
Now, Dio did.
Yeah, Dio definitely did.
Yeah, I thought Marion did too. I thought that's what she said in the first, after she was leaving.
She says she had a logical vision. The exemptions had to be found for the 3rd challenge to happen, so she looked at who played a role in them being collected. She thinks it was a big mistake. So no, she didn't go all in. Sounds like she went between Frits, Tim, and Marit.
Oh, okay. Anyways, though, 2 people out of the first 4 eliminations going all in on one person. It's a bit surprising once you get into 2012 for Vidum.
And you know the even more fun thing? This is the 2nd year on the trot where the person who went home in episode 5 went all in on the test, because Jan Koeman's Supremacy did exactly the same in Vidum 11.
Oh, yeah. When he thought for sure he was going to win the season.
Yeah. And he went for art, I seem to remember.
Well, that was dumb.
Yeah, it was dumb because he lost.
Did Hin go all in Japan?
I don't think so.
Oh, so she's not dumb.
No. I think it was just Jan Koeman and then Marit.
Okay.
Jan Koeman would have liked Morocco.
So they discuss whether they want to reveal who voted green and who voted red. Anna Marie is the only one who says she voted green. Lisbeth, Frits, and Tim all say they voted red, but one of them is lying. And they are dropped off at Reykjavik's airport, and as they get their passports back, they find out that they're flying to Alicante. And William, for some reason, seems to have a permanent cocktail for his confessionals.
He prepared a costume with props for his confessional.
Surely this is the first time in recorded history that Dutch people have been this excited about going to Spain.
Southern Spain.
Yeah.
Wherever that is. As I think it's William who says later. He's like, yeah, I've no idea where we actually are. We're just in Spain. It's warm. I don't really care.
It is warmer than Reykjavik.
Have you been to Alicante, Saunders?
My bus stopped there to drop a couple people off. I befriended 2 people on a bus, and they really liked the TV show Veronica Mars, and I still have them on my Facebook to this day.
Oh.
Yeah, because we were on the bus for about 4 hours, so they jumped off in Alicante, and then the bus continued onwards to Valencia.
Oh.
And this episode, the challenges were in Almeria, and I spent a couple days there. There were a lot of stray cats.
No word of a lie. I think before I actually paid for my own holidays, Alicante was probably the airport I flew to most. We used to go there most years, or
Oh, really?
fly into Alicante and then go to different places around southern Spain. Yeah,
Yeah, there's just so many places in southern Spain to go to.
yeah. I've flown to Alicante a fair few times. The episode title is then revealed as Reversed, and on the plane, a man walks past whistling a tune, and Lisbeth clocks it as a clue. The stewardess then gives Tim an envelope and tells him he has 30 minutes. The envelope contains a riddle, which they solve as a group activity. William's then second to get an envelope asking which volcano has recently erupted.
Like, the idea of making them do a challenge on the flight is fine. It's just, it's got the same problem that one challenge from Amazing Race Australia versus New Zealand did, which is, it's boring watching people do paperwork, even if they're on a moving vehicle.
Yeah.
At least Anna Marie sleeping through the challenge was the funniest part.
Yeah, she perks up quite quickly given that she was apparently not well on the flight and then were led to believe that the Almeria task was maybe the same day.
Yeah, she just looks at the paper and says, William, you want to solve it? Good. All right. Back to sleep I go.
Yeah, do what you want.
And then William says, yeah, it was the Dutch word for egg carton. That's how I knew the answer.
So Hardwick is asked what the mistress of Picasso was called, and she decides to ask someone on the plane because they don't know her surname. Marit is asked what the name of the glacier they went to was, and William finds a map. The whistling man then walks past again, and they identify the tune as being from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly before it is corrected to Once Upon a Time in the West. And Frits also wants bonus points because he knows it was by Ennio Morricone. And anyone who's watched Belkia would also know Ennio Morricone's music, given that they use it all the damn time. Anne-Marie's envelope then asks what the name of the village where Marion was eliminated was, and William remembers it as Eckhart, as Saunders said. And they land in Alicante and celebrate not having to wear as many layers anymore.
And then William decides to just insult Tim repeatedly.
I mean, fair. Yeah, we get like a whole bunch of confessionals about how like southern Spain is much warmer than coastal Iceland, and I'm like, no way.
No one could have predicted this.
Well, after the 10th confessional about it, I'm convinced.
I'm so glad they added the 10th one, because by the 9th one, you weren't getting it.
Yeah.
Wait, a country that's pretty much the furthest southernmost point in all of Europe is warmer than the northernmost country in all of Europe. Mind fucking blown.
I've just out of interest Googled Reykjavik to Alicante, and it doesn't want to come up with a flight. It says that Play offer 4.5-hour flights from Reykjavik to Alicante direct. But Google's suggestion is you drive there, which apparently takes 95 hours and 2 minutes and is 5,207 kilometers.
And it's south, right?
Yeah, I'm sort of intrigued what the route's going to be for this, I'll be honest.
I would have to imagine there is not a lot of demand for the Alicante to Reykjavik route.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even sure Icelandair offer it anymore, which is... the bad news is this route does have tolls. I think the tolls might be the least of your worries there. So yeah, it's basically drive across Iceland, get a ferry to
Bergen?
Denmark,
Oh,
and it looks like a long-ass ferry, that.
Skyscanner is coming up with a flight. Keflavik to Luton, Luton to Alicante.
Oh. Who wants to go to Luton?
On EasyJet.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah. So basically, leave at 10 o'clock, get in at 7:50 at night. Good news, though. Only 92 quid.
Oh, wow.
steal of a deal.
So yeah, 537 kilometers on the ferry, and then basically all through Denmark, into Germany, a little bit into France, via Andorra, through Spain, to Alicante.
And somehow that's more, they're traveling more in that time span than season 38 of Amazing Race.
Yep. It does take 34 days to walk, apparently.
Oh, race across the world next celebrity season.
Oh no, the celebrity series has already been announced. It's Mexico to Colombia, as you all know. The good news is it cuts about 400 kilometers off if you walk, but you still have to, walk through Iceland.
Williams said that Tim did quote unquote fuck all in 11 of 12 challenges. What was the challenge that he thinks Tim didn't do fuck all in?
Probably the one where he won his exemption, I would guess. He seemed really, really bitter at the fact that Frits had basically chosen to give Tim the exemptions.
Yeah, jealousy gets you nowhere, William. Especially when it involves Tim, of all people.
And Art tells us that it's almost like nothing has happened. The pot's at zero and they're in a new country. It couldn't be much different from Iceland, and the mole have to adapt, not that they struggled too much in Iceland. And they go full Wild West for the first challenge in Spain, and Sheriff Art meets them at the saloon. And he says he's feeling generous today, and they will earn €50 for the first correct answer on the plane. Each subsequent one's worth double, but if it's wrong, then their money is halved.
Which essentially means it goes back to what they had on the previous question.
Yeah, it's pretty much a weakest link money tree.
Hmm.
And they realise that the mistress was wrong, so Hardwick goes first and is wrong. Tim's then right, as is William, but Frits was wrong because it was the good, the bad, and the ugly. Lisbeth's right, but Marit is wrong, and Anna Marie doubles it again for a total of €100 of 3,200 for the challenge.
I didn't get why they made them pick the order if the money tree was the way it was, because it means like they're going to end up with the same amount of money no matter what. Like, because if you get three right and then lose one and it's halved, you end up with the same amount as if you get the first one wrong and then the next three right. Like, it didn't make any sense that they added that little bit to the challenge. It was just to confuse them, which I think we can all agree confusing them is not that hard at this point.
It'd basically be the same as saying, yeah, the first question is going to be worth €1,600, the second 800, the third 400, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It would have been funnier if they ended up with like €25 by the end of this challenge.
Well, they couldn't, because Art said like the minimum prize was €50, so like it wasn't going below that, even if they got them all wrong.
Yeah, you got the first one right for 50. Wrong, 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 wrong. Here is €6.25.
And then Michael complains that that's not a real number.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, round it up to 7.
You can just hear my rage from 2012 just going, they can't do it in Mulberry. This isn't a real amount.
You're welcome, Fuzzy.
So he then tells them that there is lots more money available in the second challenge, but they will have to play for the team and not for themselves to win it. He's looking for an intrepid person, and William volunteers.
Art said he was being generous with that first challenge because the maximum was 3,200, right?
Yeah.
So all they have to do is get one wrong, and they would have only gotten the maximum value would have been 1,600.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the first one was technically worth 1,600, because if you got that wrong, that was how much came off the top prize.
Yeah, so it wasn't really like a huge amount of money up for grabs in that challenge.
No. Although it is basically the same amount as an entire modern season pot, so...
Yeah. I do think it was very funny that they basically drained the entire pot last episode, and then the first challenge was pretty much impossible to win any decent amount with. Like, in most seasons, that challenge they would use to basically just spaff money up the wall.
Yeah, it feels like it should have been the sort of challenge where they did throw loads of money at them.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, these people are so dumb, they just didn't.
Yeah.
Because even if they hadn't dropped them down the money tree again, they still would have only earned, what, €400 was it, I think?
I mean, these people are so dumb that when Art asked for the intrepid person, William thought it was all about falling off a roof.
And he said it's the sort of thing that he's good at.
And I'm like, well, clearly.
The other thing that I do have to point out from that challenge as well is the first time that the whistling man went past, you couldn't tell that it was the good, the bad, and the ugly. He had to do like 2 or 3 attempts just so they would identify the film.
He gets right in their ear.
Yeah, he was really bad on the attempt that Hardwick clocked him as being suspicious. Like, really, really bad.
And then they get to Art at the end and they're like, what Western film is Pink Pony Club from?
And also the other thing here is Art insists on using Spanish wherever he can because he's fluent.
Yeah.
I had completely forgotten that Art is fluent in Spanish, and boy, does he make use of it in this episode.
Yeah. I mean, he gets to the end of the episode where he eliminates Marit, and he's like, hey, desaparecida.
¿Quién es el topo? So yeah, William volunteers to be thrown off a roof or whatever, and the others are then split into 3 pairs who are equally matched: Tim and Hardwick, Frits and Lisbeth, and Marit and Anna Marie. Around the set are 8 boxes, each with 3 options: take a yoker, take the money, or take one of your opponent's lives. If you take 3 of your opponent's lives, they are out, but you would keep any money or yokers that you earned, and they would lose theirs. And for each round, one of the other pairs will act as snipers and can instantly eliminate whoever is running by shooting them with a laser gun.
It's our old friend, the laser game.
Yay!
Laser game.
Back when they were less OMG laser game about it all.
Yeah, I think you'll find it's laser game, all capitals, 3 exclamation points. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's a laser game. On Ditto.
3 exclamation points, a 1, another exclamation point, another 1, and an exclamation point. The number 11 written out in letters, and then 2 more exclamation points.
And spoilers, this is not the last laser game this season.
No.
I can't wait for Venom 2027 when they all start screaming and running around in circles aimlessly, screaming about the laser game.
Now, I know this is leaning into Fuzzy inevitably getting a bingo square for this, but Art says at the end of the challenge that they could have earned €4,500, and I don't think he's telling the truth.
You're calling him a liar?
Yes.
I'm not calling him a liar, I'm just saying he's potentially a bit misguided.
Please do tell how Art is misguided.
Because presumably the same amounts were available in each round, so it wouldn't be unfair, because otherwise they could rig it for them all to be in a particular round or whatever. Frits earns €1,500, which is exactly a third of what Art says was the maximum available. I think it's very likely that €1,500 was available per round, which would make €6,000. If there are 4 rounds, it doesn't make sense if there's the same amount in each round for it to be €4,500 total.
I wonder if maybe like the boxes like had different amounts on them, because like if Fritz won 1,500, he's still got to use another 3 of the boxes to remove Lisbeth's lives. So he's only really collected from 5 boxes at most. I'm wondering whether it was maybe 4,500 in each individual round.
Yeah, maybe. Because the other element of this is the fact that they could have been immediately eliminated by the snipers.
Yeah.
So it was theoretically possible to take money from all 8 of the boxes. Or it had to be, technically.
Yeah.
So maybe 4,500 per round is more likely, I think, than 4,500 total. Art certainly made it sound like it was 4,500 total, but it wasn't 100%.
Yeah.
So basically, I need a ruling on this. What are we putting down as the maximum for this challenge?
I have no fucking clue.
Because in your challenge guide, it does say 4,500 total. I checked this out of interest.
I may not have been paying enough attention when I watched this, when I wrote the challenge guide. Let's make it 9,000.
Okay.
Just meet halfway.
We'll say 9,000 for this thing.
Yeah, because like we've got no idea.
Yeah, it absolutely was not 4,500 total.
Yeah, and it feels like they basically threw more money at it because of what happened last week.
Yeah, and it would make sense if Fritz only found a third of the money.
Yeah.
I think, given that we only saw him go to about 2 or 3 of the boxes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad they all couldn't cooperate and say, hey, let one person go around, collect all the money, and then just shoot the person that doesn't have the money.
Because also they added extra money in this because of the non-elimination last week anyway, because they wouldn't have had the 7th person be the fall guy or whatever. Which was an entirely pointless tacked on round, purely because there were 7 people.
I do wonder if maybe they didn't have the thing last week. Maybe that would have been for an exemption or something.
Yeah, both of the actually Spain set challenges this week could have been done with 6 or 7 people, easily. Because you remove the last round for the Almeria challenge, and you just have pairs instead of a random trio.
I mean, look at when Australia 6 did the rooftop challenge. They did it with, I think, 11 people. Like, there's no real need for like a set number of people in most of the challenges this season.
Do you think Fritz's confessional during this challenge would have gotten him cancelled in 2025?
Yes. Yep. I did quite enjoy, I must say, this episode, Fritz's vibe of how do you do, fellow young people? Because if you look at how he is dressed at the execution, he is almost the spitting image of Steve Buscemi in that episode of 30 Rock. It really made me laugh. The only difference is that he doesn't have a skateboard and his cap is on the right way around rather than backwards.
Yeah, I can't believe he actually said, Marit is a pacifist. She was a Chinese student on the bridge. I'm thinking, whoa, I can't believe that made it to the airwaves.
Yeah. The less said about that, the better, I think.
Anna Marie's opening run was funny.
It was.
I wrote that in my notes too. Anna Marie doesn't know how to run.
It's not even like just during this challenge she doesn't know how to run, because like in the rooftop challenge, when she like runs out of the house, she's basically running with her arms up and her boobs flailing. She is like just really unathletic, and it's hilarious.
And then contrasted, especially in the final round, with William saying, "Yeah, if I'm going to pick somebody to go against in a duel, I'm going to pick Anna Marie." So you just see Anna Marie struggling to get around like she was in the second Mexico season, and then William is just hustling between all of the boxes like nothing, like he was a world class Olympic sprinter.
She had a challenge this episode where she got to sit down and she still didn't do it.
Yeah, can we also point out how utterly terrible Marit and Anna Marie were on their first round? Marit just goes to take Anna Marie out because she doesn't understand the fucking challenge.
Yeah. Does she think there was it was a tournament where the winner of the tournament gets an exemption?
She just does not grasp that the only advantage of knocking someone out is if you have money or a yoker. There is no other reason.
I wonder what production was thinking during that duel with just Marit saying detonate, detonate, detonate. That's it. And everyone's just puzzled, like, she didn't go for money because she was against who was she against in that first
Anna
round?
Marie.
That was Anna Marie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very puzzling, especially when she gets eliminated later on this episode. She must have not understood the challenge at all.
So Hadwick and Tim are the second duel. Hadwick takes a yoker while Tim takes her first life. She responds before Tim's taken out by Lisbeth, giving Hardwick a yoker. And the final pair is Frits and Lisbeth. Frits takes money while Lisbeth takes a yoker. She did a course on being a journalist in a literal war zone and takes one of her own lives before Frits takes a second, and then her third, banking his cash.
I just love like how completely nonchalant he is about, oh yeah, I did a course about doing journalism in a war zone.
A literal war zone, thank you very much. I really like Lisbeth. I've decided.
Yeah.
Surprising she wasn't on Vidum the previous season.
Yeah. I worry that we're making bingo too easy for Fuzzy this week with literal Warzone references and me ranting about money, opaque, maximum amounts. We need to be meaner to Fuzzy. That's my New Year's resolution.
Okay.
And it's only almost October. William's then brought back, and he will face the final duel. He picks his opponents, but if they lose, they'll lose whatever they earned in round one. And he picks Anna Marie, as so many people suspect her, and it's a chance to make himself suspicious, not knowing that Anna Marie didn't earn jack shit.
I love that they went to the trouble of like coming up with a rule for that, like the second round about, oh, if you pick someone and they lose whatever they got in the first round. And then it winds up being completely irrelevant because he picks Anna Marie, who lost her first duel to Marit, who had nothing anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that is just about the worst possible pick he could have made.
Just like the entirety of Iceland this season, it was rendered utterly unimportant and pointless.
Yeah.
Did you notice the noose they brought out in the backdrop when William joined the group before the final duel?
Yeah, that was if they needed a non-elimination.
It was in the opening B-roll when they first got to the village. They went with the three classic, things you see in a Western village: a church, a noose, and a stray cat.
And as Saunders says, there's a lot of stray cats in that area of the world. She takes money while he takes a yoker. She takes a second amount before he takes one of her lives. He gets a second yoker and a second life before she takes his first one. And he then knocks her out of the game, banking 2 yokers. And Frits is the only one who banks any money, which is €1,500 for a total of 1,500 of, we're saying, 9,000 for the challenge. And then we go basically straight into the final challenge as it is.
It's sort of very funny how utterly pointless the snipers were in that challenge.
Yeah, apart from Lisbeth, who, was trained in literal war zones, taking Tim out.
Like, it might be, the least effective laser game they've ever had.
Yeah, at least until next week.
Yeah.
So for the final challenge, Art looks for 2 candidates with sharp eyesight, and Lisbeth and Hardwick volunteer. The rest are sent away and will be walking through the neighbourhood, and the girls have to give them instructions. They will be atop a castle and must look for 4 houses with crosses on the roof, where clues to Art's location await. And if the teams reach him within 45 minutes, they will bank €2,000. And the groups are Anna Marie and Tim, and Frits, Marit, and William.
Although it does take them 5 minutes to work that out.
Yeah, not a lot of interesting things in this challenge, but
No.
it's interesting to watch. It's just
Yeah.
not necessarily interesting to talk about.
Marit was stealing the walkie-talkie. I thought that was a potential sabotage, but nope. Just another challenge where she didn't get the strategy of it.
Just an idiot. She's just dumb.
Yeah, William shines brighter than Marit in this episode. And that's a pretty low bar to not ascend.
Honestly, Dio shines brighter than Marit in this episode.
I can say this now that she's been eliminated. Like,
Now that she's gone.
I had forgotten Marit in this season.
Hmm.
She might be the most unmemorable 5th episode boot we've ever had.
Again, Hind.
I like Hind. Hind gets a moment to shine with the €1,000,000 karaoke challenge.
That should be a game show.
Let me just bring up the list and see like who else has been booted in episode 5, because I feel like there's been more unmemorable people.
€1,000,000 karaoke show would only be the American adaptation of a British show that was like 25 grand at most.
What about, when did Emilio go in Georgia?
He was episode 4, I believe.
Because I would have nominated him.
Victoria in Australia, Indonesia. Something called a Liz Snoijink.
Gesundheit.
What about Canada season?
I think that was one of the 17 non-eliminations. Yes, it was.
I know this is a very niche category to look at, but I had genuinely forgotten that Marit is in this season. If you asked me to name everyone from this season, I think I would have probably got Marit last.
Frauke was episode 5 in Northern Ireland.
I like Frauke. She's more memorable than Marit. She at least gets, left on the jail square in Game of Goose.
Menifer?
Oh, she was memorable. She was definitely memorable for us.
I'm not going to say who episode 5 in Sri Lanka is because Logan hasn't seen it, but I would argue that that's a very unmemorable person. Marjolein? Oh, Rowan.
Who?
Episode 5 in Georgia was Los.
Yep.
The baker guy from Colombia. Imitation
Oh,
Paul
Robert.
Hollywood. Yeah.
Paul
Hilverson.
We had fun with him.
Johan in China.
Johan absolutely cannot be on that list, given how messy he was as a human being.
Yeah.
He got COVID for the reunion. Pretty much everyone you've named there, I can immediately think of at least one thing about. Marit, I'm not sure I could.
Yeah.
I think she's a contender for that stat, at least.
Yeah.
Given that she got halfway through the season. And I couldn't really tell you much she did, and we've been watching this season over the last 4 weeks. Her most memorable moment is probably accidentally winning an exemption in episode 1.
Oh yeah, the hands
twice
up moment.
But that's not really anything she did herself.
Yeah, William and Dia were more memorable for that whole, I don't even know what to call what we saw in that challenge.
Clusterfuck is a good word.
And William has a pretty disturbing confessional during this third challenge.
Which one in particular?
So when they're going through all the little houses, and he says, yeah, see now people lived in these dark houses where there's not even enough room to swing a cat. How does William know how much room you need in a house to swing a cat?
I mean, it would depend how big the cat is, obviously, and how long the tail is, and I've said too much.
And how long his arm span is, because he is Dutch and lanky.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just see somebody with a measuring tape for his arms. We got to see your wingspan. Yeah, this will be some good cat swinging space.
Look, it's not his fault they used him to model Woody.
There's a mole in my boot.
I've just remembered a piece of news that you'll have opinions on, Saunders. The Simpsons movie 2.
It's coming out on my birthday.
Is it?
Yeah, July 23rd. Yeah, I saw the news yesterday. I'm like, what? Because I just started going through some of the classic Simpsons episodes.
Well, weirdly, through my bank, I get free Disney Plus, so all of The Simpsons is on Disney Plus in the UK. And I have been sort of cherry-picking some of the episodes where I'm like, I remember that one being really good. I'm going to rewatch it and see whether it holds up. And absolutely they do. The monorail episode especially is fantastic.
Do you see Conan O'Brien redoing the monorail song? Was it just a couple of years ago, I think?
It was at the Hollywood Bowl, I believe. Or the Rose Bowl,
Yeah.
it might have been. It was one of the two. Yes, I did, as you might have guessed. It's a fantastic piece of television, and The Simpsons Movie 1 is better than it has any right to be.
Yeah.
So I am quite hopeful for Simpsons Movie 2 being good.
And then my mind was blown to find out that was once the second one is released, it'll be 20 years since the first movie came out.
Was it 2006? Eesh. I thought it was 2007, but...
It was after Season 18.
And they're on like 30...
I think they're on 37 now.
Yeah, I think it was... I'm pretty sure it was 2007.
And the only reason I remember was after Season 18 is because that's when they stopped the DVDs.
And for the Canadian listeners, DVDs are coming soon.
Funny, and we have a few of the Simpsons seasons on DVDs as well. Like, because my brother used to manage Rogers Video.
2007.
Yeah, I thought it was. The other fun element about The Simpsons is there's a very real chance that the rides might disappear from Universal Parks soon because the contract's up next year, I think it is. And obviously Disney now own it.
That's disappointing.
It is, because the Simpsons land... I'm not sure... Is Japan the only Universal you've been to, Saunders? Have you been to Hollywood?
I've been to LA as well. LA had Springfield, Japan did not.
Yes. Springfield, both Orlando and Hollywood, is fantastically realised. The Orlando one's massive and has an entire Simpson-themed food court, including a Quickie Mart. Hollywood's slightly more limited on the space, but yeah. Simpsons ride is fantastic. When I did the big American tour in 2013, we did 3.5 weeks in Orlando at the end to sort of relax from all the travelling we'd been doing. And went on the Simpsons ride at Universal and ended up bumping into someone I went to school with who was working there for the summer.
Well, that's a coincidence.
Yeah. And neither of us knew that each other were in Florida at the time.
I always get so disappointed when people are talking about theme parks with special areas, because the biggest one we've got is Warner Brothers Movie World, which as seen on Mall Australia 3. And it is sort of shocking how badly the theming is done in that place.
I think in all honesty, from my completely uneducated point of view, I don't think Springfield will disappear from Universal anytime soon, at least. I think they'll come to some sort of agreement. Because the licensing will make Disney a fuck ton of money. However, if you do get the opportunity to go to the Springfield area of any of the Universal parks, do it sooner rather than later because it's amazing.
Okay.
And the Simpsons ride is fantastic and full of so many in-jokes just in the queue alone, never mind the actual ride itself.
It's funny to think that when the first movie came out 20 years ago, it was already viewed as, wow, Simpsons has been on a really long time, to the point that people were thinking, is the movie even going to be any good? And then it's 20 years later, it's still on, and they're actually going to do a second movie. Because they haven't even done a console Simpsons video game since the Wii.
There's constant rumors of Simpsons Hit and Run being adapted or being re-released.
It should be, because the company that originally did it shut down, and it's pretty tough to find legally, unless you pay an upcharge, I think, on eBay or Amazon if somebody is selling it used.
Well, GameCube's one of the virtual consoles on Switch 2 now, so there's sort of a constant hope that it's going to surface on there. Because GoldenEye did.
Yeah, Rare shut down. That's a good point.
Yeah, but Rare is owned by Microsoft now.
Yeah.
But then GoldenEye appeared on Virtual Console, which is amazing. Are you also aware of the new James Bond game? Because it looks fantastic.
No, is it coming out for Switch 2?
It is indeed. 007 First Light. It's coming out for all the major consoles, but Switch 2 was actually the first one announced for it. And the deluxe edition features a genuine, non-usable golden gun. And it looks amazing, but it is also £200 dearer than the base game. And I'm not spending that much money on it.
No.
So anyway, back to this episode again.
What do you think Art did with the old couple in the house?
Oh, the B-roll of Art in that house was just manna from heaven for me.
Just watching his stories.
There is a 99.99% chance that him watching television with old people is going to be the banner this week, if I can get a decent enough shot of it. Because it just really made me laugh. And the best thing about it, and maybe the best bit of the entire episode, was Art jump scaring Tim and Anna Marie when they get to the house. They go up the stairs, and he just emerges from the dark to scare the fuck out of them. And it's wonderful.
And then the next note is, yeah, that does look like a big enough room where you can swing a cat. Oh, and William. William did have one stupid moment this episode. He sees them. He hears them. They say, the entrance is right here. And
he doesn't trust them.
He doesn't trust nobody. And he's just running off on his own because of something Hadwick told him on the walkie-talkie like minutes earlier, even though he sees them in plain sight and they say, yeah, the entrance is right here. Who are you, Misa and Maya? Just what the hell's wrong with you?
The only way it could have been funnier is if they lost because they ran out of time for William running down an alleyway.
Yeah, and then gets distracted by a cat. I'm going to swing it.
I can feel a new character coming along. Swing it, William.
Honestly, if you told me any person in this cast was a swinger, I would have guessed William.
You just see him swinging like 5 cats against the wall. Yeah, William, we need to win the money. Yeah. Oh, right. I forgot what show I'm on.
And this is where Logan learns what swinging is. As if he doesn't already know.
And Marit does nothing with her advantage. I forgot about that. I just saw that note in the challenge about picking up a question from test number 6.
She does, however, share it with one person. She shares it with one person and the existence of it with another.
She just wanted an excuse to flash somebody on the cast.
Yeah. So, yeah, they ring the doorbell and find out in the correct house, but to win, both teams must make it. They meet up, but then William decides to run off for some reason, and they make it to Art in time, and that means €2,000 of 2,000 for the challenge, 3,600, 14,200 for the episode, and 3,600, 49,200 for the season so far. And Marit also shows Tim and Hadwick that she took the question. Hadwick knows what the details of the question are, but Tim doesn't. It's time for the test. 20 questions about the identity and actions of the mole. Whoever knows least goes home except for the mole who can never go home. And basically everyone's got yokers. I can't list them down anymore. There's too many.
Do all of the yokers get played, or does William hang on to some?
There's only 2 we see getting played, and one of those is Fritz's, and Frits didn't play his when he had the opportunity last time. So I don't think William plays either of his. I didn't note it down if he did. William thought on the plane that the mole had started from scratch, and he's resetting his suspicions. Facing execution does that to you, and there's a good chance that he was wrong. Marit says tunnel vision is famous. She's taking a big risk, but it's impossible not to take a risk at this point. She says, 4 episodes before the end. Anna-Marie says it's a puzzle that drives you crazy. Tim let himself be shot easily and said he didn't understand the challenge. Tim suspects Anna-Marie, knowing William would eliminate her. Lisbeth, who shot him, and himself in third, weirdly. Hadwick has made a table for Lisbeth and Anna-Marie. Both have high moldiness, and she plays her yokers. Lisbeth says Hadwick never seems to care when money isn't earned. Frits says Hadwick isn't the only one lying. Lisbeth is too, but lying doesn't make you the mole, and he plays his yoker.
Do you think Tim, doing that quote-unquote joke about him suspecting himself is a play on the 3 minus 1 equals 2 thing from a couple of previous episodes? Because it feels like that's turned up a lot this season.
Yeah, it's definitely appeared a couple of times, hasn't it? Art says that there are no exemptions and no negotiations this time. Nothing can save you from execution. Almeria will be one of their first and last stops in Spain. William reverses his fortune from last time and gets a green screen, but Marit cannot and is the 4th person sent home. And basically, she for some reason gets a massive amount of eulogy from everyone else, starting with William, and half of the people lament her passing.
Meanwhile, for Dio, it was like, yeah, okay, bye.
Bye.
and then you get to the end and Frits is like, okay, bye-bye.
I think I've talked about before with all the stray cats in Almeria. And in the background, when William is having his name typed in, they show a stray cat in the background. And I was thinking, yep, that was pretty much my experience. I'm surprised William didn't try to swing that cat in celebration after he got a green screen.
William said he doesn't know if this means Marit should have gone home last time, but he's changed his suspects. Spoilers, William. I think it probably does. Hadwick says she lost a good friend and that left her confused. Lisbeth says no one suspected this would happen. And Marit herself says she thought she knew who the mole is and went all in, so maybe she was wrong after all.
Yes, that's how this game works.
Next time, there is archery, more exemptions, they are the light in the dark, even more laser games, and Lisbeth and Hardwick make an agreement. Also, fun fact, I've just looked up William on Wikipedia. After he did Ramses, which he was talking about a lot in this season, he then went on to play Shrek.
Huh.
Twice. He played Shrek in 2012 to 2013 and then 24 to 25.
Wow.
Final 3 questions. Who do you suspect, Saunders? Who's the sneaky Tasmanian? Who's going home next week?
So my order for my suspect list was Lisbeth, Tim, Marit, Hadwick, William, Anna Marie, Frits, and I think Anna Marie will go home next, and William is the sneaky Tasmanian.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yes, that has been noted.
And do we need to eulogize Marit anymore? Does anyone care about her?
I thought I had her suspected fairly high for most of this season.
Yeah, but your suspicions are shit. We've established that.
Oh, I wasn't talking about whether or not I was right or wrong about my suspicions. I just said I
Well, that
suspected.
was lucky. Yeah, like I feel like maybe she wasn't the right fit for this game, but if she turns up for Renaissamce, I don't think it would feel like a weird choice like Euron was.
Yeah. I have also just sent you a picture of William dressed as Shrek.
That's just Frits.
Anything else you want to say about this episode?
I wonder if William swung any donkeys while he was Shrek.
You're really not helping yourself, Saunders.
On that note,
Do we need to do the joke, Bindles, or can we just leave it there?
I think we can just leave it there.
Okay, on that note, thank you for listening to our VSML 2012 recap. We'll be back next week to continue the hunt for an old mole in Iceland and Spain. Don't forget you can contact us on pretty much every social media platform that isn't TikTok, where we are RTV Warriors. You can email us and contact at rtvwarriors.com. You can also support us on Patreon at patreon.com/rtvwarriors, where you can get advanced copies of the episodes of this season. Thank you to that Adapt Spark for this season of subtitles, and Marika, of course. We will see you next week.
peace out and just chill till the next flavoring.
First you see the ring, then you break and enter.